Hey, what's up 3Ders? 3D Theory here. In this video, we're going to talk about how to come up with an idea, design it, 3D model it, slice it, and 3D print it from start to finish. And we're going to use the Creality CR-10 Smart to 3D print. So, with that being said, the best way to come up with an idea is to find a problem. So someone approached me not too long ago about their baby monitor, and they have a baby monitor. It's by Kids Need. It's a great baby monitor. And they asked me if I can create something on the 3D printer so that they can get a better vantage point of their baby's face. So I ended up creating this piece here where it can kind of just hang on that makeshift screw like that, and I can put it here on the crib, and it has a great vantage point to see the baby's face. And in this case, we got baby Yoda. But the issue is that on the baby monitor, the baby always comes up sideways. So they would need to have the screen flipped like this, and they want to set it down flipped like this so they can see the baby flipped upright. So they asked if I can create a case that has a similar stand function like this, but this only stands it sideways. And that's the idea we're gonna go with today. We're gonna flip it upright and figure out some sort of case or stand that we can create where they can just place it and do the things they need to do while seeing their baby upright. In this case again, baby Yoda. All right, so the first thing we're gonna wanna do here is take pictures of this device in all of its angles. So we're gonna wanna take one head on, sideways, the back, top, bottom, and both sides here. And the reason for this is that we're gonna wanna have a 3D representation of this device so that we can create the case or stand we're gonna be using for it in the computer. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my phone and take some pictures here. All right, what's up everybody? So we're here on the computer and I want to come up with some ideas for that screen and how we're going to hold it. So as I was thinking, either we're going to create a case or we're going to create a stand. I thought to myself, if we're going to create a stand, I want it to be in like the baby design world. So I thought to myself, maybe I can do a pacifier or maybe a baby bottle. And I like the idea of having a baby bottle be the stand that we may create. I also thought maybe we can stay in the design language of the screen that we already have, which is kind of like a square with really rounded edges. And in terms of a case, I thought to myself, maybe like a phone case. So if this is the baby monitor here with that little antenna, we'd need to create something where it can stand up vertically. So with all that in mind, let's start off with the design language idea that I had. So I thought to myself, okay, let's design this in the same design language as the screen. So I'm gonna draw out the screen again in like a 45-degree angle or thereabout. Then maybe I can create a separate piece that is similar in its shape language, in its silhouette, but I can have some sort of slot here where we can then place the screen. So it'd probably be sunken in about here. And this would just go back like that, and it would hold up the screen like this. But then I thought to myself, this may look a little boring. What if I want something that looks a little bit more fun for them? Then I thought to myself, okay, we have the baby bottle idea. How can I make this work? I thought maybe if I can chop this part off, make it just flat, I can then go ahead and lay this down and it would have a cool little design aesthetic to it. So then I'll, again, just cut out a piece like this, and then you could simply place the device here, and you can just watch it upright. Then I thought to myself, there are two pieces that you have to carry around now. You have the device, and you have the stand. And seeing as how the device itself, the screen, on the back, has a stand that's already built in, I thought to myself, you know what? It'd probably be better if I were to have a stand that's attached to the device. So in that case, I thought to myself, let's create a phone case type of design that has a somehow built-in stand where you can stand it upright. So between the three ideas, I thought to myself, so I don't want two pieces. This is the screen and this is the stand. Also, number two has a screen and a stand. With that idea, I can simply rule idea one and idea two out and go with idea number three. But before we go and start using calipers to get the measurements, I actually want to make sure I have the idea fleshed out over here. As I was sitting here thinking, I thought to myself, why don't I just do it like this. Here's the screen with the antenna right here. I can then build a case that's form-fitting, but also has an opening for the antenna, and likewise there's a charging port. And there can be two flaps. One flap that comes out this way, and another flap that comes out this way. So one would need to be in a little deeper, and this one will be out a little further. So in essence, if we're looking at the back here, here's the antenna again. We have a casing that's form-fitting. Then we have a piece that comes out, and we can say that this is where it can pivot from. So you would pull from here, and it would swing open. And underneath that, we would have another one with a pivot on the opposing side. So then you can get it from here and open it out. And so what that would do, that would give you the ability to open the top flap while having the bottom flap be a support. And likewise, if you were to need to flip the screen so that the antenna portion's on the top, you can likewise flip the opposing end and use the smaller end to hold it up. Now there's something to be said about this, that it's very rare that you can create and design a product and have it right the very first time around. You're gonna do what is called prototyping. And prototyping is an iterative process, which means you're gonna have to create a version 1 and find out its flaws, fix them, then create a version 2, find out its flaws and fix them, then create a version 3, until you have a final prototype. And again, it's rare to see a design work the very first time around. But with that being said, with this idea in mind, we're gonna try to do this the first time around and have it ready the very first time around. And to do this, we're gonna need to keep in mind tolerance, which is how well something fits into another piece. We're gonna have to keep in mind correct measurements. And during the slicing phase in Creality Slicer, we're gonna have to keep in mind how much infill we're gonna have for the strength and durability of the product. All right guys, so now let's head over to those calipers and the screen and get those measurements.